Yo to the community, man. Welcome in, welcome in. Crispy Capping, Chris. We doing these NBA team previews. I'm excited because my favorite team is on the board today. Shout out to the Los Angeles Lakers. I dropped the tweet down below as well on my page if you guys want to tune in to the YouTube channel. I got the Laker gear on for Laker Day today, man. Had to. I felt like I had to, man. I had to. But yeah, we're not going to take too much time. Just kind of get right into it. I'm excited to hear from you guys as well. But as always, I'm doing these team previews, and doing two teams a day. Today we have the Los Angeles Lakers and the Toronto Raptors. So it's just going to be a quick highlight of what's transpired in the offseason. This is what you guys can expect. For each team, we'll discuss additions and subtractions, recap of last season, expectations for this upcoming season. And of course, I'm doing this to just to bring the community up to speed and refresh memories of what happened with each one of these teams last year and clarify roster moves, but also to provide some betting perspective. Right, we want to be informed bettors and not just throwing out money away to the books. Something that I'm always talking about. I always like to say if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. So that's what we're doing. How we're going to do it, I talked about it. Two teams per day. So yesterday we did the Charlotte Hornets and the Denver Nuggets. On Sunday, we did the San Antonio Spurs and Chicago Bulls. We started this last Thursday. So we got some teams in here that we've done already. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We've done 10 teams already. At the end of the day, we'll be done 12 teams. Tomorrow, we got the Knicks and the Jazz. They're on board for tomorrow. If you missed any of the episodes, be sure to check them out over on YouTube. They're typically pretty quick, and the way I've been structuring them is 5 or 10 minutes of myself just kind of giving, bringing people up to speed on what's happened with these teams, what's transpired, and then we get straight into, any comments or commentary, any remarks, any rebuttals based on what I said, that people either like or don't like. So that's what we're looking at. It won't be too long, but I do want to, like I said, kind of bring people up to speed. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and get started, man. Let's get started. Let's go up north first. Let's go to Toronto. So the Toronto Raptors. We're looking at Toronto Raptors. They as far as additions, they didn't make a lot of moves in the offseason. We saw guys like Chris Boucher. He returned on a 3-year deal. They also signed Hernan Gomez. He agreed on a 1-year deal. Josh Jackson came over. I think Josh Jackson played for the Kings last year. A really high quality draft pick that, really just didn't pan out. He played for Detroit as well. I want to say he was on Sacramento last year, but anyway, needless to say, he's there as well. Josh Jackson agreed to a deal. The biggest addition that they made in free agency was grabbing Otto Porter Jr. from San Antonio. He signed to a 2-year deal. I don't know how much that actually helps them because they were already so deep at forward. They got a lot of forwards, and I think this team is a team that needs more guard play. They need guys that's going to be able to come in and contribute when Fred VanVleet isn't having his greatest day, and Gary Trent Jr. aren't necessarily having their greatest days. But we'll see how it goes. And then lastly, Thaddeus Young signed a contract extension as well. So those were the 5 moves that I saw. Not a lot of subtractions at all. This team didn't, they didn't lose a lot. I think what they're doing is they're basing this coming season on player development, right? So we saw guys like Scotty Barnes win Rookie of the Year last year, and I think that they're basing their potential for this season on their player development. Guys like Fred VanVleet taking an even bigger step. We saw Pascal Siakam step up in a big way last year, especially when Fred VanVleet got hurt. He earned his third team all NBA last year. But ultimately, this team lost in the first round, 4-2 against Philly. I think injuries had something to do with it, but I can't blame it specifically on injuries. I think Philly was the better team, even though they started that series a little sluggish. I was actually bullish. I was real bullish on Toronto because they had played Philly so well in the regular season last year. So I actually liked Toronto in that series last year, even though they ended up losing 2-4. This is another team that plays hard for their coach. Hangman has on the defensive end. And just I like the way that they play basketball. I think they play basketball the right way. They move the ball. A lot of length and athleticism, but not a lot of, like I said, not a lot of additional pieces actually brought to the puzzle in this one. Um, they finished last season 48-34, which landed them third in the Atlantic division behind Boston and Philly. And that's just the problem, right? You're still in the division with Boston and Philly. We all know Boston got better. We haven't discussed Boston yet, but when we get there, the addition of Malcolm Brogdon, bringing back everybody that they brought back, the hunger that they should have, I can only anticipate that Boston will get a little, Boston got a little bit better. And then, of course, Philly. We'll get to Philly as well. And I think that's the problem for Toronto. They're just in a really, really tough division. This division is stacked. A dominant division over there in the Eastern Conference. So I talked about, win total last year, 48-34 is what they finished the season. I saw projected win total on Caesars at 46.5, and I saw a projected win total of 45.5 on DraftKings. So what the books are telling you, because we do have to be able to read those lines, what the books is telling you is that they're expecting a similar season, but maybe a couple more losses than what happened in the beginning of the what happened last year in comparison, right? Strength of schedule, I saw them at 20th, which means that they have the 20th most difficult schedule, or you could say the 10th easiest schedule. So not a lot of difficulty when it comes to schedule. We do know that Toronto typically gets a major advantage when teams have to travel to Toronto because of customs, getting in and out of customs. But Toronto also having to fly across the country, being all the way at the northern part of not even our country, but at the northern part of where basketball is played. Rest is something that definitely comes into play when you're looking to either back Toronto Raptors or you're looking to fade the Toronto Raptors on a given night. So with all that said, I think my biggest takeaway from this Toronto team, based on what's happened in the offseason, is that I'm not looking for them to do a lot more than what they did last year. I was a little bullish on this team towards the end of the season. Like I said, I definitely think that they're still a playoff team. I think that they play hard, but I don't think that I think they probably still finish third in the Atlantic Division, 10th most difficult schedule. I am interested to see guys like Precious Ochoa and OG Anunoby and Scotty Barnes. I'm interested to see what happens next with these guys like Malachi Flynn. I mentioned Hernan Gomez, right? Then you bring over a guy like Josh Jackson. Otto Porter is a champion now, right? And then we haven't talked about Siakam, but we talked about him taking this game to the next level. I'm interested to see what that looks like, man. Like I said, I don't have the highest expectations. I don't predict this team to finish, top four and have home court throughout the Eastern Conference or anything like that. But I do think that they are a team that could, make some noise and probably have a similar run to what they ended up doing last year. And that's that. Like I said, I want to keep my synopsis kind of short and open it up to you guys. So if anybody got anything on the Toronto Raptors that you want to share. And let me address that win total real quick before I kick it to Joey. I said that the Toronto Raptors finished last season 48-34, I think is what I told you guys. Yeah. So projected at 46.5. I'm not going to take the under. It's a win total that I just don't want to get behind, but I wouldn't look towards the over. And I don't know if that makes sense. I know a lot of people don't play future markets, but I'm not looking at this Toronto team to make any significant noise. I do question the health of Fred VanVleet and if he's going to be able to stay healthy, because we know he carried a big load for this team last year. Him, Gary Trent Jr., Pascal Siakam, they're a really top-heavy team. Adding guys like Josh Jackson and Otto Porter are definitely going to help in that regard, but I think that this team needs more depth at the guard position. It's going to be interesting, like I said, to see if guys like Scotty Barnes can play more point guard. If you get guys like Scotty Barnes, Gary Trent Jr., Fred VanVleet. Oh, and Malachi Flynn. Malachi Flynn was the other guy for them that you would need to take that next step. So that's my synopsis on the Toronto Raptors. I'm not really high on them. I do think that they make the playoffs, so probably finish somewhere around. I think last year they finished fifth. Yeah, they finished fifth because Philly finished fourth. So I think they finished maybe sixth this year, maybe seventh. Like I said, no play on me for the projected win total. In the comment section, I see Taylor said, I'm here to make sure there's no disrespect towards the greatest franchise of all time. So Taylor, I know you here for the Lakers. I know we ain't got that far yet, but I know that's what you here for. We ain't talking about the Raptors being the greatest franchise ever. And then Bearded Goat said, what's up? Yes, sir. Toronto looking like a 1980s high school basketball championship team. Yeah, man. They just, they grind. They play real slow. One of the slower paced teams in the league. Like I said, they work hard every day, especially on the defensive end. If they can put the ball in the basket and get out in transition, they're a really good team. But I think the East just got better, and I don't see Toronto as one of the teams that made a significant jump at all. But I appreciate you being here in the chat, Bearded Gang. Appreciate you, Taylor, as always. JR Sports, you already know what it is, bro. Appreciate you being here. Very fundamental. They're going to play hard for sure. Joey, I know you typically in the gym in the evening times, my brother, but if you're free, definitely the floor is yours, bro. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on the Toronto Raptors this year.
Yeah, what up, Chris?
What up, bro? Appreciate you being here. I'm good. How you doing?
Yeah, of course. And I'm off today, man, so I can chop it up with you today.
Nice. Okay.
So my thoughts on these Raptors, they're done, man. They had the Kawhi run. They were able to stay afloat, do pretty well without Kawhi. And then you nailed it. The East just got better. I don't think that they're going to really be competing like that anymore. I got a ton of respect for Nick Nurse and the roster and what they've done. But, yeah, that's over with this season. I mean, you're strolling out there with a lineup that's got the Netflix Juancho Hernan Gomez.
He did make that movie this year.
Bro, and where's the depth, man? Let me start out. You got Siakam, who I don't know if you touched on it because you brought me up when I heard the name Siakam, and then my audio cut because you brought me up. Siakam said that he doesn't feel that he needs to work on his game in the offseason.
Yep.
That's enough for me. And you get these 5 starters off the floor. Who's coming in? Otto Porter, yeah, he's a champion. We know why he's a champion. Thaddeus Young, DJ Wilson, Gabe Brown. Who is going to carry the workload for the Raptors this year? The East is just kind of so much better. 100% correct that the division is extremely tough. And I even went ahead and I looked at their schedule to start the year, because despite them being 20th, where you had them ranked, they got to face Cleveland. Granted, it'll be in Toronto, but since it's the first game, I think Cleveland's going to have some time to get accustomed to everything. Then they got to go over to Brooklyn. Then they got Miami back-to-back. Then they got the Sixers back-to-back. That's going to be a rivalry game. Then they're going to see the Hawks, who we're expecting to be pretty good. They're going to have a pretty rough stretch their first 7 or 8 games. So, yeah, I'm on the under 46.5 wins. Siakam don't want to work on his game. That's cool, man. You should have worked on it because you got nobody to back you up.
That's a fact.
So, yeah, I'm on the under 46.5. I think that the sustained success for Toronto is going to be done this year.
Yeah, Joey. I think I mean just the only thing I'll add, Joey. I looked at that schedule too, and after those games that you talked about, like you said, Atlanta, they do travel to San Antonio. And then they got to go to Dallas and play Chicago back to back. So I predict a pretty slow start for them as well. And 46.5, just that number just seems a little too high for me. Like I said, I didn't lock that one in yet, Joy. Just for transparency perspective, but we will be looking to back Toronto when we can, but also fade them on nights that we don't think that they bring it. Nick Nurse is also somebody. I'm gonna kick it to you, Jehovah, but Nick Nurse is also somebody that runs his players into the ground. Like, those players will go out there and literally play all game long. Like, he has no problem playing his starters the whole entire game. Like, he might give them a 5-minute break. So I'm definitely with you on that as well, Joy. I can only look towards the under. I like that we're aligning and we're agreeing, unless some trade is happening that we don't necessarily know about. We do know that the GM, his name is I'm forgetting his name right now, but the GM, he is spontaneous and will pull the trigger, if he thinks that he got to move. Who is it again, Joby?
Masai
Masai Ujiri. Yep, Masai Ujiri is the guy that will pull the trigger and make something happen. Try to make something happen out of nothing. So if you see the franchise going, in a way that he doesn't think is sustainable success, I could definitely see him, blowing it up and trying to make a move for sure. So
hey, Chris, unless he's bringing Kawhi back, under.
Yeah, I'm with you, Joey. I'm with you. I still would only look towards the under for sure.
Hey, Joey, I disagree with you saying this is the last year Toronto will sustain that kind of level, 40 win or 35 plus win or whatever. I disagree. I feel like they still got the core guys, and you say they bring in a shooter and Otto Porter. You go out and you re-sign Boucher. You go out who's a long, lengthy rebounder. He can. I don't want to say he can stretch the floor, but he can hit a three every once in a blue moon. And then you go out and re-sign Thaddeus Young. These are they're quality bigs. They're undersized. They're quality forwards, and you still have a championship head coach in Nick Nurse. Yeah, he does run his players into the ground, but and also Toronto early in the year last year, I think they had injury problems early on, and they just didn't gel together. And this we see Scotty Barnes emerge. We see what OG Anunoby can do. He's a 3-and-D. Well, he stretched the floor now. He can shoot. He's long, defend. I don't see them not doing as good as they did last year. I don't think they win. How many wins they have? 48 wins.
48 and 34.
And that's for Toronto. That is a great record. Yeah, the East got it better, but I feel like I don't see them winning 48 wins. I see them probably. I'll cap it at like 42 to 44. Nothing lower than 44.
So you would be in agreement then?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think,
but it's not a huge. You said this is the last. This is the end of Toronto's. I don't know what word you used, but this would just be the end of it all.
I think what Joey was saying is just that while Toronto isn't like, I don't think Joey's saying that Toronto's gonna miss the playoffs, but what he is saying is that they haven't taken a step forward because they didn't make any moves and teams in the Eastern Conference got better. So I think we all agree. We all agree that Toronto probably will. I think we all agree that they're gonna make the playoffs. And like I said in my intro, Jehovah, I think I got them about a 6 seed, maybe a 7 seed this year, versus last year being a 5 seed and challenging Philly for the 4th seed. Pretty close. So I think we all agree that we're all on the win total under, and that they definitely will make the playoffs just because they play hard. They play for their coach and Nick Nurse, and they play a playoff style type basketball typically all year long. And they're tough to beat when they have all those guys on the floor. But when you look at the East and you think about the other teams, even if it's just Chicago getting their guys back, being healthy, and then the addition of what we see in Brooklyn with Kyrie, playing all the games this year, and what Philly did in the offseason, Boston coming back. We didn't talk about Chris Middleton. We haven't did the breakdown for the Milwaukee Bucks, but I think all of those teams have a leg up for the most part on the Toronto Raptors. So we all agreeing for sure.
I would say for sure Milwaukee, but Boston, I know Gallinari went down. I know Robert Williams just had surgery. Like it's. I don't think the healthy Bulls team, I just have to see it because last year, obviously, Lonzo was out the lineup. They're big. They had, who was it? I don't remember the 4, but they just weren't healthy. Caruso got hurt.
Yep.
But still, I think they can come. I see in a 7-game series, they can definitely. I could see Toronto winning that 4-2 just off the fact that the Bulls. I just don't trust the Bulls much, and I think didn't Zach LaVine have surgery this offseason as well?
I don't know if Zach LaVine. I think he did. Yeah. Well, no, yeah, he definitely did. He needed surgery towards the end of last year. Yeah, and then they re-signed him as well. So yeah, Joe. I think it's two teams that both are I think both of them fell short of their goals last year, and health had something to do with it. Not to say neither one of them would have went too much farther, but I think Chicago definitely wasn't beating Milwaukee if they were healthy or not. But we did see Chicago. They were at their best, of course, when they were fully healthy. And I don't know if people remember that, but Chicago was a really good defensive team that had a really good record before the injury started. Go back and check that out if you need a refresher for sure. Anybody else got comments? If you jumped in late, we are previewing the Lakers and the Toronto Raptors. Just finished the preview for the Raptors. Got some great comments over on YouTube. The link is posted on my page if you want to go over and drop your comments over there, what you think of the teams. But if you want to request up, you definitely can as well. Request up. Share your thoughts on the Toronto Raptors before we move on to the Los Angeles Lakers. Appreciate. I see Joey came off mute, so I'm gonna kick it back to you, Joey.
Yeah, no, you could have finished. I just wanted to Jehovah. When I said that it was going to be the end of the sustained success, I'm being funny. I'm not saying that they're going to be like trash because the East is very good this year, but the top part of it is what's very good. But if it makes more sense, what I'm saying about taking the under on the wins, and we're not going to get into the Bulls because I know that it's not on Chris's list today. But I also have the under on the Bulls wins just because DeMar was amazing last year, and I just don't think that they're going to reach like that level again either. If that helps makes sense as to what I was saying as far as why I'm taking an under over there.
I see what you mean. I'm taking an under too.
There we go, then, Jehovah. We all agree on that. And real quick,
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Jehovah. You got it.
I got a question for you, Chris. You said about Van Fleet. I think you said, can he make a leap or make another leap or something? I don't know if that's the word you use, but what do you think he could do better? Like, how do you think he could take his game to the next level? Because I think he can be a all-star guard, in my opinion. But what more do you think he has to do? Is it play make?
Yeah, I think
shoot.
I think the biggest thing for me, Jehovah, with Fred VanVleet is just health, right? Like we watched him, we watched him pretty much, get Kyle Lowry up out of there. They got rid of Kyle Lowry specifically because Fred VanVleet was taking his game to the next level. And what I was saying was, for me, I think it's a certain type of season that I'm anticipating these players that I'm anticipating these teams to have, right? So you got teams that we know are not necessarily going to be great this year, and we call those teams rebuilding teams, right? So I'm thinking about San Antonio. Then we have championship or bust teams, total opposite, right? If they don't win the championship this year, we see their season as a failure, right? That's typically any team with LeBron on it, any team with Giannis on it, Golden State, anytime they got their big three together. And I think the other type of team is the team that we look for them to just to take what they have and to build upon that, right? So player development type teams, who on their team can take their game to the next level. And when I'm thinking about some of these teams that fared pretty well last year, but didn't make a lot of offseason noise, maybe because of injury, maybe because of salary cap reasons, whatever the case might be, I'm thinking about those teams as teams that are looking to capitalize on what they have and those players becoming better next year. So that's what I was meaning, Jehovah. Not necessarily just Fred VanVleet, but that whole team in general, right? Like I said, we see Scotty Barnes, ball out last year. He won Rookie of the Year. So him taking his game to the next level, maybe he becomes the backup point guard and plays the minutes when Fred VanVleet goes to the bench because they never had a serviceable backup point guard, right? We saw Siakam run point forward. Malachi Flynn wasn't somebody that made a tremendous difference. So when I say, I wasn't specifically speaking about Fred VanVleet solely, not exclusively. I was speaking more so about the team just kind of coming around each other and saying, hey, this is what we have. I'm okay with that. And we're all going to get better in our respective roles. Everybody's going to get a little better. So that's what I meant, Jehovah. Not necessarily just on him, because I do think that Fred VanVleet, like you said, he took a big jump last year. I'm a big Fred VanVleet guy. I love Fred VanVleet. I love his story. I like the way he played for sure. Anybody else got any comments before we move on about the Toronto Raptors? Once again, we're previewing the Toronto Raptors and the Los Angeles Lakers. 2 teams a day, every single day until the preseason starts next Friday. Tomorrow we have the New York Knicks and the Utah Jazz. Yesterday we did the Charlotte Hornets and the Denver Nuggets. But definitely request up if you got any thoughts. I think for the people who are here, Joey, Jehovah, Bearded Gang in the chat, appreciate you being in the chat, Bearded Gang. Taylor, I think everybody's on the same page when it comes to Toronto not making a lot of noise and not getting too much better. And everybody, kind of agreement, whether we placed it bet or not, on Toronto not winning, 46 games next year, even though they finished 48-34 this last year. So I don't see anybody unrushing to request up. So we're gonna kick it to LA, baby. That's what I got the hat on for, man. If you're on the YouTube channel, you know what time it is, man. LA gang, baby. So yeah, we saw Bron cut his ball his head today. So the Lakers win the championship. That's all I gotta say. The show is over. It's like, nah, I'm kidding. Let's kick it to the Lakers though. Let's get in all seriousness. Let's go to my LA team and talk about this team. So a lot to discuss, man. We know about all the failed acquisitions that the Lakers tried to make over the course of the offseason, mainly just trying to get rid of Russell Westbrook. But typically in every deal, the team either wanted some draft compensation, which the Lakers don't have a pick until it seems like 2050, because they've given up so many for these guys that we've bought in recently. But even more so, the Lakers don't want to give up that pick. And everybody wants that pick because nobody wants to take on the 47 million dollars that Russell Westbrook is guaranteed this year. And as they shouldn't, right? Westbrook had the option to opt back into the contract, and he would have been a fool not to, and he did, right? Somebody would have had to check his blood pressure if he wouldn't opt back into that. So with that being said, that made it extremely difficult for the Lakers to pick up pieces. So you see some pieces, and we're going to talk about them, just here shortly. You see some pieces that they added, but none of them are, players that's going to take the Lakers to the next level, right? So what I'm talking about, Patrick Beverley, who ended up coming over, Juan Toscano Anderson, we picked him up from Golden State. Troy Brown Jr. came over. We did get Thomas Bryant, who I really like Thomas Bryant. I think we probably won't bring back Dwight Howard. So Thomas Bryant is somebody that can play a little defense, but also stretch the floor as well. I watched him play a lot last year in DC because it's a local channel for me being here in Virginia. Then we got Damian Jones. He agreed to a 1-year deal. I'm really excited that we have Lonnie Walker. I think he has a lot of playmaking ability, which is what we missed last year when LeBron wasn't on the floor. AD was hurt. Westbrook, just couldn't find guys. So I like the addition, especially if you're gonna lose somebody like Malik Monk, which I'm about to get into the subtractions here shortly. But if you're gonna lose guys like Malik Monk, you definitely gonna need somebody like Lonnie Walker, who has a similar skill set to be able to replace that playmaking ability and his shot making ability. And then additionally, of course, Coach Darvin Ham came over from Milwaukee, assistant coach for Budenholzer for the last few years. I think all the way since Budenholzer was in San Antonio, I think. They've been rocking together for a minute. So I do like the addition to Darvin Ham. We had to have a new coach. I don't even think it was optional anymore. Frank Vogel lost the locker room last year. And it was one of the reasons that I think the Lakers struggle so much, besides injuries, of course. Defensive-minded coach that couldn't get the team to play defense, which is what he's supposed to be brought there to do. You can't do your primary job, then you're typically gone. So on to subtractions, and I kind of talked about some of these already. Kent Bazemore he ended up getting picked up by the Kings. Malik Monk, like I said, he ended up going to the Kings, get a little more money, bigger role as well on that team. I think Melo's going to be out. Tyler Horton-Tucker got traded. Stanley Johnson also got traded. They were in the trade for Patrick Beverley. And then, like I talked about, Frank Vogel is also gone as well. Off-season notes, what I got here is that, like I talked about already, Westbrook, it was $47 million. I got it written in my notes. Lakers can't bring in anybody except the role players when you got to take on a contract like that. Bron turns, excuse me. Bron agreed to a 2-year extension with an option next year. So he's in for this year. Next year will be an option. Looking at the recent reports on AD, he's expected to be ready for training camp and to tip off the regular season. So we'll have to see what that means. I think, if AD can stay healthy, I look at this year as a revenge tour for AD. A lot of memes came out, people calling them street clothes. People are calling him Anthony Day-to-Day Davis. A lot of nicknames for my guy who can be extremely dominant. But I think AD has to refocus just a tad bit, man. Last year was supposed to be the year that he transitioned the torch from LeBron, to himself, and he's still a guy that's in his prime for sure. But we need to see him on the floor. We need to see him stay healthy. We need to see him, back down low banging. We need to see his 3-point percentage go up because it's dropped every year since 2018. He shot an abysmal 18.6% from three last year. And that's just not going to cut it. Not when you're trying to spread the floor. You got Bron playing in the post. And AD, if you're gonna be 7 foot and settle for jump shots, they're gonna always call you soft unless they're going in. It don't matter if your name Joel Embiid, Dirk Nowitzki, you name it, right? You're gonna have to knock that shot down consistently to not be called soft. If you continuously shoot that. So I mentioned a lot already. The only other thing I wanted to mention is that LeBron's not getting any younger. Last year was a year that essentially was wasted. The Lakers finished 33-49. Bron is 30, 33, 34, 37, 40. Bron is old, man. Bron is getting extremely old. So the Lakers, you have to capitalize on that. AD himself averaged 23 points and 10 rebounds in 40 games last year. So he missed 42 games. Like I said, shot just 18.6% from three. And his 3-point percentage has dropped every year since 2018. The Lakers missed the playoffs. I don't think LeBron team has missed the playoffs in 2 consecutive years throughout the entirety of his career. We get a Lakers team, like I said, that's 33-49. Projected win total for this year is 44.5, which is, quick math tells me that's 12 games more?
That's too many damn wins.
Hey, Jehovah, relax, bro. Chill out, bro. Let me finish. Don't do my guys like that, man. Look, so the Lakers 44.5 wins, which is about half the games. Do I expect this Lakers team to go 50, win 50% of their games next year? Absolutely, I absolutely do. They get the 15th. They get the 15th most difficult schedule, which is also the 15th easiest schedule. So not a lot of scheduling conflicts there. The Lakers also have the Lakers and the Hawks also have the most rest advantage built into their schedule. So as far as back-to-backs and travel situations, the Lakers have the easiest schedule in that regard when it comes to just having the biggest rest advantage over their opponents. So definitely some things to kind of take in consideration. I also think, in all seriousness, that when you have guys on a team like AD, Bron, and Westbrook, that was already it was one of the moves that I questioned when we bought Westbrook over. I didn't like the signing of Westbrook. I didn't necessarily agree with that. But definitely what's not going to help that is when you don't have the time for these guys to play together, right? Chemistry, everything looks good on paper. We can say it looks good on paper until we actually see it proven, it's something totally different. So with that being said, I do think that having these guys together playing more than 20 games, knock on wood, hopefully anticipating to play more than 20 games, I would only be able to look at the Lakers to win 45 games this year. You look at that Western Conference and you just look back at last year. Let's see, we got the San Antonio Spurs, who finished 10th. I think the Lakers will finish higher than them. We also got the Los Angeles Clippers, who I think are going to be pretty good this year. The New Orleans Pelicans, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Denver Nuggets, the Utah Jazz, who will drop out of this. So one team will have to replace the Utah Jazz, in the top 9, I guess we're saying. Golden State, Memphis, and Phoenix finished 1, 2, and 3 last year. So I do think that in reverse order, of course, but those were the top three teams. I do think that the Lakers get to 44 wins. 44 wins last year wouldn't even put you in the playoffs in the Western Conference. It would have put you in ninth. Yeah, it would have put you in 8th over the New Orleans Pelicans. So I do like the Lakers to get their projected win total. I do think that number is a little close, and the only thing, of course, that scares me completely off of it is health. Like, I don't know how. First of all, I don't think that the Lakers are done making moves. I think that the Lakers are going to try to pull strings all the way up until the trade deadline. And I think that has a major impact on the season win total for this team. They're still trying to, do a backdoor move, get Westbrook off the contract. As recently as last week, we saw, reports that the Lakers were trying to bring in some of the guys from Utah, Bogdanovich, Jordan Clarkson, those type guys. So I'm hesitant to play the over, but I do look for the Lakers to to make a move. I don't think that Bron is in the mindset of wasting another year in his career. Even though playing with Bronny is the ultimate goal right now, I do think that we make another push for sure this year to at least make a deep playoff run. And I think health has a big part of that. So I'm not playing the win total at 44.5, but I do like that the Lakers get the rest, the factor in rest, especially with LeBron getting a little older. Westbrook's no spring chicken, and hopefully he's not on our team. Honestly, no shade towards Westbrook. I just don't want him on our team, because he needs the ball so much. He's so ball dominant with a guy like LeBron, and AD also needs his touches. So that's my take on the Lakers. Looking at the schedule, it's not anything too hard. The preseason we kick off with Sacramento, Phoenix, Milwaukee, Golden State, Memphis. I'm sorry, Minnesota, and then Sacramento. We start the season with Golden State. Then we get the Clippers, Portland, Denver, Minnesota, and Denver again. So definitely gonna be tested early, and hopefully we up for the test. I think playing Denver twice. They'll be getting their guys back integrated as well. So that's going to be interesting. I also always love playing the Clippers, even though they somewhat owned us recently. We going to see. Then they also get the Pelicans, the Jazz, they get Cleveland, Utah, the Clippers, and Sacramento again. So not an extremely difficult schedule. Some definitely some playoff caliber teams there, but also some teams I anticipate to miss the playoffs as well. So a nice little balance at the beginning, of the season. So yeah, I think Mitch in the chat said the Lake Show still needs more shooting. I would agree with that, Mitch. I think getting somebody like Westbrook off your team is going to free up a lot of different things. I'm interested to see what happens. And hopefully we can get it done. I don't know for sure if that's going to happen, but we definitely need more shooting. I like the addition of Patrick Beverley from a leadership standpoint and accountability standpoint, somebody to hold those guys accountable. But I don't necessarily like him for what he brings to the team offensively. And I think offensively was one of the bigger pieces, that we struggle with. We saw this team play pretty well defensively when AD was a part of the cast. But I would just agree with that, Mitch. I do think the Lakers need more shooting. So like, as I said already, I didn't like to see, Malik Monk leave. Anybody got thoughts on the Lakers? Definitely request up. Joey, I see you come off mute first, bro. I'm gonna kick it to you.
Hey, Chris, bro, y'all might just shock the world this year. Y'all might just win the play-in game this year. My bad, bro.
Go easy on this, Joey. Go easy, bro.
So I'm right in the middle of this one, and I hate to talk about shit that I don't got my money on yet, but full transparency, I think I will get there on the under right before the season starts. Just exactly like you said, I got to see if some moves are going to be made or not. But I love LeBron, so I would hate to fade LeBron, but I do not want Anthony Davis in control of my money. And if I'm doing a futures bet, Anthony, you mentioned it, Anthony Day-to-Day Davis. I'm one of those people. I don't want my money in Anthony Davis's hands. I don't want my money in the hands. It's the same thing I said for Siakam. I don't want my money on someone who doesn't think that they need to work on their game, especially when he's only played however many games that he has. I agree. I think losing Malik Monk was huge. And before I even move on from that, Malik, he went to Sacramento, correct?
Yep, Sacramento, yeah.
Yeah. And I think Sacramento's going to be one of those surprising teams this year. Not that they'll be anything special, but they'll be one of those teams who I think will be able to give LA a run, because the way that I look at the Lakers is the same way when I cap football in regards to the Cowboys and baseball in regard to the Yankees and the Dodgers. Is there certain teams where you get up for that game? So you guys are going to be getting everybody's best shot.
That's a fact. Opinion. That's a fact, Joe.
Especially when it's in LA. It's showtime. Everyone's going to get their best shot. So however easy that the schedule is, some of those games won't be as easy as they may look, because you're going to get 110% effort from the other team. So Yeah, I'm not quite there yet. I do want to get to the under, but like you said, I'm waiting to see if they do got another trick up their sleeve. Y'all did steal my old coach, Darvin Ham. I think that was a tremendous pickup. Great dude, but yeah, it's kind of an unknown right now, and that's not what I want for futures. I got to see what's happening with Russ, and I got to see what GM LeBron has got up his sleeve before the season starts.
Yeah, Joey, I would agree with that, bro. I appreciate you. I appreciate your take, and I think what you said, Joey, is exactly what some teams we feel real confident on, Joey, and we go ahead and put those future tickets in, and others we're like, I definitely got to wait and see, right? And I'm with you. I would never, even though he is on my team and he's my guy, I would never want my future money riding on AD's health ever in life. I don't want to bet AD's health anything on AD's health ever. Bag of Skittles, Pop-Tart, cherries, limes, Sprite, anything. I'm good off, betting on AD's health. That's not what I want to put my money on. Real quick before I come to you, generational gentleman, because I see you in here and I got you requested up. Taylor in the comments section, he said, "Is Thomas Bryant nice?" Don't know much about him. So I think he's definitely developed a lot, Taylor. I watched him play a lot last year for Washington. He came back last year, in the middle of the season, maybe towards the end of the season as well, because he was dealing with an injury, so he missed a lot of time for Washington.
Hello? Hey, Chris.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Joe?
Is it just me? Hey, Joey, are you there? I don't know if it's me that can't hear.
Joey, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was just addressing what Taylor had said in the comment section on YouTube. He was asking about Thomas Bryant and if he was nice or not. And I was telling him that he missed a lot of time last year for the Wizards with an injury, but he came back. He came back last year. And he's somebody that can stretch the
floor. I may have to drop and come back.
Yeah, you can drop.
I'll be back. I can't hear.
Yeah, drop, Jehovah. You can drop. I'll bring you back up. But yeah, he's somebody that stretches the floor. He can rebound. He can also protect the rim. He's a 7-footer that can shoot the ball. So I like the additional Thomas Bryant. He's also a lot younger than what we've had at center. I feel like the Lakers for the last few years just keep bringing in these old centers, Dwight Howard, DeAndre Jordan, right? So he has some youth to the team as well, and that's always going to be a positive when you're looking at a team that has guys like LeBron James on it for sure. The one guy I didn't mention real quick though is Dennis Schroeder. So DJ Javon said Dennis Schroeder will win the Lakers 5 more games himself this year. He was able to help them finish games, and that's what they struggled with most last season. I don't know about 5 more games, but I do like bringing Schroeder back. That happened in the last week. I do like bringing Schroeder back just because he can play make, and you need another guard on the team. I just talked about Malik Monk leaving. You need another guard on this team that can create their own shot, right? That's not named LeBron, so that he doesn't have to have the ball in his hand all the time. Patrick Beverley can't do that. So I do like the addition of bringing Dennis Schroeder back because he can hit the mid-range jump shot. I still think it's he's a streaky 3-point shooter. I still think that needs some work, but hopefully he comes back. I hope he comes back hungry, right? Because he was one of the guys that, and typically that's when you see these NBA players get in their bags when they're playing for a contract. You see them start to work out hard, posting their Instagram videos, right? It's for clout for sure because they want to show people that they're working out. But it's also, you get a little hungry. And not saying Dennis Schroeder need money because he got a bag already, and he bet on himself and turned down all that money and only came back on the league minimum. But hopefully Schroeder understands his role on this team and can play make and hit some shots. So I'm with you on that, DJ Javon, in the YouTube chat. Generational gentleman, I want to kick it to you, bro. Tell me what you're expecting from my Los Angeles Lakers this year, man.
What's going on, man? Honestly, I like LeBron personally, but I don't like just looking at your roster right now and where the Lakers is going. I feel like y'all kind of depleted in size. As far as like in the center position, honestly, I mean Thomas Bryant was a good add-on. But I mean, and Lonnie Walker too. But I mean, you guys losing Malik Monk and Stanley Johnson, I feel like that was kind of like a little hit to y'all a little bit, because of just how young they were and how feisty they were. You know what I'm saying? Especially Stanley Johnson on the defensive end. But as far as like the team is looking, I hope you guys have a successful season. You know what I'm saying? LeBron's getting old, and that's all I really have to say, man. It's just not kind of looking too good.
You being too nice. Remember this the Lakers we're talking about. You being too nice.
Yeah, I know. The retirement home, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I want him to win because I fuck with LeBron and I fuck with Russ, but it's like, I don't know what y'all got going on in LA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this just ain't the, it ain't the full puzzle yet, generational gentlemen. That's all it is, bro. We just ain't come full circle yet. That's all.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. You feel me? And that's also what I'm saying. I just need to see probably like mid-season, y'all probably, you feel me, get everything together. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man.
Yeah, now I feel you. You sound pretty cautious about the Lakers, which I am too. I think we all are. Especially because we don't know, like we said, we need AD to stay healthy. We need these guys to click, and we need to see what happens with this, with the roster, 2-3 weeks from now, or all the way up until trade deadline. So,
right.
So I would definitely stay put on the Lakers win total, unless you know something I don't know. Whether taking the over or the under, because I think either one of them could bite you, honestly.
I'm not even gonna touch the Lakers.
Yeah, don't touch them. I'm with you.
I'm with you. Learned from last season.
Yep, I'm with you, bro. Extremely inconsistent. One of the worst ATS teams at times. One of the best ATS teams at times. I'm definitely with you, bro. I'm definitely with you. Anybody else got any comments they want to make? Jehovah, go ahead. Floor is yours, bro.
Hey, you can always bet your money on LeBron though. But I wanted to ask the question. You said earlier, like as soon as we started talking about LA, you said Vogel lost the locker room. Do you believe he himself lost that locker room? Because personally, I don't think he lost the locker room. I feel as though there was a whole lot going on between players and management and just like so much chatter. I feel like Vogel was more the scapegoat. I do like the head coach. I like him, but I don't think Vogel he lost the locker room. I don't think it was his fault.
Nah, I think
you're a Lakers fan. I want to hear from your perspective.
So Jehovah, this is my perspective. I don't think that he necessarily. When I say he lost the locker room, I don't. If it sounded like I was giving him all the onus and all the responsibility on that, I wouldn't say that, right? I would say, like you said, it was a lot of different things. Health, you can take that into consideration. Chemistry, you can take that into consideration. Bron having to carry this team as much as he did, you can take that into consideration. And what I mean, Jehovah, is I think sometimes it's about relationships, right? Like we have to, especially when things get hard, right? We have to be able to have difficult conversations and talk to these players. The coach is gonna have to talk to the players gonna have to talk to the coaches and kind of iron things out. I don't think that Frank Vogel was able to do that last year, specifically with a guy like Westbrook that has a big personality. Because I would watch the post-game interviews and you would hear Westbrook saying, this wasn't communicated to me that I wasn't going to be in the game. Or, after the game, coach didn't say anything to me about why I didn't play for the last 5 or 6 minutes. So I think, being able to address these things head on is something that Ham brings to the locker room that the Lakers didn't have last year, right? Like I think he's more of a player's coach. He seems more approachable to me, right? He seems more transparent with his players. He's already talked about the expectations for this team. And I don't think that's just him, just talking. I think he's really going to try to build the relationships with these players to put them in a position to be held accountable. And he's talked about that. Accountability is going to be one of the big things that he brings to the table. He already talked about Westbrook limiting his mistakes, right? Not turning the ball over as much, being a more effective playmaker. So I think when I'm mentioning it, Jehovah, I'm not trying to put all the onus on Frank Vogel at all. I think that he deserves a nice slice of the pie, though, because when you're the coach, it's your job to keep those guys going no matter what happens, no matter what injuries, no matter what trades, anything. Like the coach has to be accountable for every single thing that happens. So I do think that he gets his fair share of that, Jehovah, but I definitely would not 100% not put all the onus on Frank Vogel at all for what happened last year.
All right, and one more thing too, because I was talking about the Lakers earlier to someone else, and I was just looking at the roster, and I don't see where the perimeter shooting is coming from. And I was trying to just look at the different lineups and who would you have out there, even for like a small ball lineup. what lineup would you put out there to at least get some perimeter shots? Because I don't know who is Westbrook and Beverly starting?
Nah, I don't think you start both of them. I definitely don't think you start both of them. But that's gonna be interesting too, like you said, Joe Jehovah. You know what? I really don't even want to get into all that, bro. Like I just don't. But I do think because I don't know if this is necessarily gonna be the starting lineup. I don't think that this is necessarily gonna be the starting lineup that we're gonna go into the season with, Jehovah. I honestly don't. I still think that there's gonna be additional moves that's gonna be made. So I don't really want to I don't want to touch on it too much, bro. Like who said it in the chat? Somebody said in the chat earlier, the Lakers definitely need. Mitch said it. He said the Lakers need more shooting for sure. So yeah, and I would just agree with that. DJ Props, real quick. DJ Props said, do you see Alex Caruso being a major contributor this season? I would say so. I mean, I know he's not on the rundown for the day because he plays for the Bulls, and we did the Bulls already, but I would think so. Caruso is a guy that plays hard. I wish he was still on LA for sure. He can play make. He can knock down the open shot. He can definitely guard your best wing defender, whether he's a 1 or a 2. He can even guard some threes. And he's also a guy that just plays hard. He plays extremely hard. So, yeah, I think Caruso, is a big contributor. He was a big contributor last year before he got hurt for sure. Mitch said Chris don't want to talk about it anymore. Nah, I don't. I don't want to talk about the Lakers shooting woes no more for sure. I'm definitely off the shooting woes for the Lakers right now until we get some guys in that aren't named Patrick Beverly that's gonna make some jump shots. So yeah, that's where I am right now on my Lakers, man. Like I said, I'm not touching that win.
Wait, so since you think this won't be the roster, do you think Westbrook will be the one that gets moved?
I think the Lakers will do everything that they can, reasonably, to get a move for sure, Jehovah. I still think that that's a possibility, but it's gonna really come down to if they're going to stay solid on not giving up that pick. I honestly thought when Patrick Beverly came in that he was just going to be used as an asset to be packaged with Westbrook. That was my initial thoughts when I saw the move. I was like, we don't need Patrick Beverly on our team. Like, we'll just put him in, let's just use him as an additional asset to lessen the load so that we don't end up having to give up, another future pick. So that was my thinking.
Is it a first round pick, Chris?
That they want to give up? Everybody wants Westbrook. Nobody's interested in Westbrook unless a first round pick comes with it. so yeah.
And y'all won't give up a first rounder?
Nah, I don't think we have any more until like 2047, Joey. So I don't think we interested because Bron's getting older at this point, and we've continued to just kind of shell those out. When you play on a team with LeBron James, if you don't have the up and coming talent, then the anticipation and the expectation for LeBron to win a championship year in and year out doesn't bode well at this point in his career for having guys develop, right? Like, we've seen that so many times. That's why Alonzo's gone. That's why Brandon Ingram's gone, right? That's why Kuzma's gone, right? Because with Bron, we need to win now, right? He's not interested in the guy that you just drafted, him developing and potentially being good 3 years from now. Because Bron window is getting shorter and shorter. Father Time's undefeated, and eventually it's gonna catch Bron too. So he's doing everything that he can to kind of, to keep himself just in the best shape possible, spending millions of dollars on just physical fitness in general, whether it's weightlifting, diet, everything. So that's my thoughts on that, Joe.
Yeah, exactly, bro. And the league is in a better spot when LeBron is winning. I hate to say it because he's on the Lakers, but the league is in a better spot when LeBron is winning. The Lakers are doing well. Man, if y'all don't stop bullshitting and trade that first round pick, because them first round picks are cool until they turn into Peyton Pritchards.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Austin Reeves. DJ, that's who you was mentioning. My fault, DJ. So DJ said Alex Caruso. He meant Austin Reeves. I like Austin Reeves. I think he's a guy that comes in and he can do a variety of things. If you watch the Lakers play late into the season last year, you saw his playmaking ability. You saw his defensive tenacity. He plays hard every single play. I think that's what the Lakers were missing, especially with the veterans who had just kind of already given up on the season. He can also shot make as well. So I like Austin Reeves. He definitely need to get in the weight room. He need to put on a few more pounds for sure. But he's definitely. I think he's gonna get some run. I definitely can see him getting some run. I don't know what that's gonna mean for for his development, but he just seems like a guy that works hard every single day. Reminds me a tad bit of Alex Caruso. Definitely not as good as Alex Caruso, but if you go look at some of the SB Nation stuff, there are different articles about him working on his shooting and ways to kind of play make this year. Because, like I said, the Lakers will need playmaking, especially after losing Malik Monk. Even though you add a guy like what's the guy's name? I'm having a brain fart. Lonnie Walker. Even though you're adding a guy like Lonnie Walker, so yeah. Anybody else got any thoughts they want to contribute real quick before we shut this thing down on the Lakers? For the people who joined late, we went over the Toronto Raptors first. Projected win totals. Everybody's looking towards the under. I haven't placed it yet for full transparency. And then this Laker team that finished, what did I say the Lakers finished last year? They finished 33 and 49. Projected win total sitting at 44.5. I wouldn't touch it. I think that's spot on. I do expect the Lakers to be better, but all that's going to be contingent upon, what happens with this trade if Westbrook leaves. And it's also going to be contingent upon, if we can keep AD on the floor and healthy. So, that's my thoughts. We definitely need more shooting, as everybody talked about already. Patrick Beverley there being an accountability leader for some of the vets. That's just my kind of wrap up on them. If I don't have anybody else, like I said, check out the YouTube videos. I've done 2 teams every day since last Thursday: Pelicans, Hawks, Clippers, Nets, Timberwolves, Cavs, Spurs, Bulls, Hornets, Nuggets, all in the bag now. You can add the Lakers in Toronto to that. Tomorrow we got the Knicks, we got the Jazz. On Thursday we have the Wizards and the Mavericks, and then we'll move on to Philly, Sacramento, and then on Saturday we'll get into the Pacers and the Golden State Warriors. So definitely tap back in. 5:15 every single day. Weekend times will vary. I'll probably do those shows early, so so it's not conflicting with college football or NFL on Saturday and Sunday. So it'll be an earlier show. But definitely tap in with me at 5:15 during the weekdays. We're gonna keep these NBA previews rolling, because when it's time to make money, we got to get to this money for sure. You haven't. Go ahead, Joe.
So what you saying, Chris? I gotta wait about 2 to 3 weeks to talk about my sons.
Let me see where your sons are. Your sons are, So your sons are actually next Wednesday, Jehovah. No, next Thursday. Y'all the second to last day. It's y'all in Orlando.
I'll be there on time.
Absolutely, yeah. I know you got a lot of opinion. I might let you lead the show for sure. But yeah, anybody else got any last comments? Y'all let me know. Request up. But if not, we're gonna shut this thing down, man. I don't see nobody requesting up. So as always, I appreciate you guys for tapping in with me, man. Sound like we all aligned, but I'm gonna keep doing my homework, presenting the information to you guys. It's a season preview, but it's also, from a betting perspective, we looking at who we can find value on. Some of these teams gonna have tremendous value because they tanking or whatever the case might be. Some of these players gonna have tremendous value. So definitely tap in with me tomorrow. Like I said, Knicks and the Jazz. But I'm gonna end it on that note. And you guys have a good evening. Best of luck on your baseball bets. Joey, let's go Kansas City. We need that under, baby. I'm rolling with you on that one today. I'm out, y'all. Y'all have a good evening.